Just as he was about to leave for work in the morning, he heard his neighbor excitedly shouting to him.
Hey, Ginger had her litter last night. Want to see him?
Maybe later. I'm coming home for lunch. How many you have?
9.
9?
It was supposed to be nothing more than ordinary daily small talk, but the old man's next words left him completely baffled, because he actually compared a puppy to an encyclopedia.
You said encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Ginger is an encyclopedia?
Last time I looked, she was. Well, you knew that, Bill. Come on, give me a break, will you?
Bill thought the neighbor was joking and didn't give it much thought before heading off to work. However, once he arrived at the office, strange things began happening one after another. He called his client Doug. Doug, however, said that today was the throw rug of his 17th wedding anniversary, and that he was taking his wife out to celebrate. At first, Bill thought he must have misheard.
I'm sorry, Doug. Today's your what?
It's our throw rug.
Your throw rug?
That's right, 17th. Talk to you tomorrow.
Just as he was about to ask for clarification, Doug had already hung up, which only deepened his confusion. Why was everyone speaking so strangely? When he got off work at noon, something even more absurd happened.
Well, hi, Robbie.
Oh, hey, Mr. Lowry. You know that new girl in accounting, Barbie?
Sure.
Well, I've been asking her out, and she finally says okay. She's gonna be here in 5 minutes, and I can't think of any place that'd take her for Dinosaur. I mean, I thought of the Capitol Inn, but it might look like I'm trying too hard. What do you think?
You're planning to take this girl out for Dinosaur, huh?
That's right.
Bill could hardly believe it and confirmed it again.
Dinosaur?
Uh-huh.
Wait a minute. You're saying Dinosaur?
Yeah.
This left Bill completely speechless. He couldn't understand what was going on with young people these days. How could they replace lunch with dinosaurs? Seeing the other person's innocent expression, Bill was just about to lecture Robbie, but Robbie immediately cut him off, casually made up an excuse and hurriedly left. Could it be that the ones with the problem weren't them, but himself? Carrying a head full of questions, Bill returned home, only to find abyss waiting for him that would utterly shatter his sanity.
Hi, sweetie. How was your morning?
Bill couldn't help but mention the strange things that had happened that day to his wife.
Except for one really strange thing that happened. I was leaving work. And this kid Robbie works in the mailroom. He stops me and he says,
But before he could finish, Kathy told him with a worried look that their son Donnie's cold was very serious and urged him to go upstairs and check on him. Unexpectedly,
He's so pale and awfully congested, and he didn't touch his dinosaur when I took it into him.
Bill felt as if he had been struck by lightning.
What? What did you say?
I said, I think Donnie's cold is getting worse.
No. Did you say dinosaur?
He wouldn't touch it, and it's his favorite, tuna fish.
Why are you saying dinosaur?
What do you expect me to say?
Bill suspected this might all be an elaborate prank.
Did Robbie or someone from work call you and tell you to say dinosaur as a joke or something?
Robbie? Who's Robbie? Why would he call me?
Then why are you saying dinosaur instead of lunch?
This time, it was his wife who was completely confused.
Dinosaur instead of lunch. Bill, what are you talking about?
Can't you hear what you're saying? You're saying Donnie wouldn't touch his dinosaur.
Her husband's seriousness only made her even more
know.
puzzled.
And I'm a little worried.
Dinosaur? Come on, Kathy, it's lunch. The word is lunch.
Lunch? What has lunch got to do with anything?
What has lunch got to do with anything?
Bill suddenly realized that continuing to argue would be meaningless, so he forced himself to calm down and decided to ask his wife what lunch actually meant.
What does lunch mean?
However, she looked at him as if he were mentally deficient.
Bill, you know what lunch means.
What does it mean? Tell me!
Trembling, she explained the meaning of lunch.
It's a color. You know, sort of reddish, a light red.
Seeing that her husband was still fixated on it, she finally issued a harsh ultimatum.
Would you please go up and check on Donnie while I dish this up?
It was over. Completely over. Bill realized that something was truly wrong with this world. He rushed upstairs and saw his son sleeping soundly on the bed, mumbling in his sleep. Just as he tenderly tucked his son in, his wife's voice rang out again.
Bill, your dinosaur's ready.
And Bill felt a chill down his spine. Her words once again dragged him into the abyss. At that moment, Bill felt like a solitary island completely cut off by words that could neither be explained nor understood. The next day, the situation took a sharp turn for the worse. While riding the elevator, Bill found that the conversations around him had turned entirely into gibberish. Some people were discussing radar in a baseball game. Others said that Barbra Streisand's movies were definitely candles. Everyone even looked at him with strange expressions, as if he were the one with the problem. The awkwardness made him wish he could crawl into a crack in the ground, and what shocked him even more was discovering that his name on the documents had somehow turned into Hinge Thunder. The secretary smiled and said a string of incomprehensible words to him, while colleagues behind him were frantically making phone calls in an absurd language.
A Yankee home. Hinge? Well, in the iris. Rigo de Club. Huh?
As a salesperson, Bill had no choice but to answer calls from clients.
Timber, Hinge. Big Tarch to zoom this carload whistle. Use Metro Panther call, Blade. Hinge.
Everything was simply too bizarre. He felt like he was suffocating and could no longer endure it. He just wanted to escape from this place desperately. He rushed into his car and tried to drive home, but the moment he started the engine, a line of words flashed on the dashboard. "Fasten, stepdad." The car radio was still broadcasting words that made no sense at all. He angrily turned it off and sped back home. Just as he let out a sigh of relief, he saw his wife running downstairs in panic, shouting a string of insane words.
Hi, Tiny. Van tumbling edge. Dark outer, go kettle rot. That Van Collins would but can.
Donnie?
Moon tight, moon tight.
From the urgency in her tone, Bill instantly realized that something might have happened to their son, so he quickly followed her upstairs.
He has a very high fever. He's breathing. Could be pneumonia. We better get him to the hospital right away.
However, his wife froze in place, unable to understand anything he was saying.
Kathy, the blanket!
Realizing that communication with his wife was impossible, Bill could only wrap his son in a blanket himself and rush him to the hospital.
Excuse me. My boy is having trouble breathing.
Smith proper?
Kathy!
Smith, sir.
Hiya, guide, Tiny. Band-aid, Van Cool style.
Work Banter's knees.
Although he couldn't understand the words, he followed his wife anxiously toward the emergency room.
Was biomass handy race?
The conversations between the nurses and doctors that followed were equally bizarre.
Wine mental aid van cattle renting Jupiter.
Confidence?
Slot Lebate renting.
Watching everything unfold, Bill felt like an outsider, unable to do anything, and unable to understand anything. Although the couple could not communicate normally, their love for their child needed no words. Just as they were on the brink of despair, a miracle occurred.
Empire Pantheon Thunder?
Pete.
The doctor brought them good news.
Guide Quest top near pipe.
Although Bill couldn't understand what was being said, he could tell from his wife's expression that their child was no longer in danger. She gently stroked their sleeping child, and seeing him safe and sound, the couple's tightly wound nerves finally relaxed. At that point, his wife gestured for Bill to stay with the child while she went to ask the doctor about precautions. After going through all this, Bill finally figured things out completely, what truly mattered most to him.
Thank you, Lord.
He did not resent God for giving him such an experience. Instead, he felt deeply grateful.
Thank you very much for my boy.
He was no longer lost because he now understood the true meaning of life and what he wanted most.
I hope you can understand me.
Back home, Bill ate the dinner his wife had prepared, and for the first time, he felt that her cooking was incredibly delicious, every bite filled with happiness.
Pallets and to desktop Hinge.
What his wife meant was probably for him to remember to clean up after eating, but Bill misunderstood her.
Oh, it was good. It was very good.
It was clearly a conversation where both sides were talking past each other, but none of that mattered. What mattered was that their love needed no language. Back in the bedroom, Bill flipped through a children's book. It was clear that he had accepted this reality and was actively trying to integrate into it.
Wednesday. Wednesday.
This is where the story comes to an end. Although the film never explains how Bill came to this world, that is not important. What matters is what you take away from it. Relying on its bizarre premise of linguistic chaos, the film shatters the illusion that language automatically creates connection. Bill's situation, crying out to heaven with no response, into the earth with no answer, pushes the modern sense of loneliness to its peak. Through this fantastical crisis, the director seeks to convey that we are often trapped in daily lives where language is shared but hearts are not, forgetting that the core of communication has never been precise wording, but the love and tolerance within the heart. Only by accepting differences and holding fast to kindness can one find the ultimate answer to reconciling with the world.